In 2005, Teresa Buggage was in Moreno Valley preparing to sign on with the Moreno Valley Unified School District when she learned Katrina was going to hit her home in New Orleans. A veteran of many hurricanes, Buggage thought nothing of going back to save her 10-year-old pitbull, Simba.
I made up my mind to take the last plane before, and I knew I was going to be maybe school hadn't started, okay? To go to New Orleans to make better accommodations for Simba, okay? And when I arrived in New Orleans that next morning, I think I arrived about 12 in the daytime, 12 noon. It's like a ghost town. I couldn't believe it. I said, wow, these people are just running away from a hurricane. Yeah. What's going on? So maybe about 1:30 a.m. That's probably the hardest part. It seemed as though the home exploded from inside out. Boom. Every window. At the same time. Boom. The roof went off. And the waters poured in. And Simba and I, we were in the bathroom huddled with blankets over us. To look up and see darkness and swirls and things going around in the darkness. Wow. And then it poured and it poured and it poured. And then daylight came, and for all practical purposes, it stopped.
But the worst wasn't over just yet.
The levees gave way. And so the water started trickling all over the city. At first it was by my step. I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't dare think. Then it was at the second step. I said, come on, Simba, we going inside. Blah, 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 blah. By the time 6 o'clock that evening, the whole porch and the whole streets was underwater. Then it dawns on me, you can't stay here. I walk out on the steps. I go completely under. And I have it tied around. And I'm looking under the water, and there's trees, there's limbs, there's dead rats, there's dead cats. So I'm not gonna make this. So I took the leash off of me. So, you know, my thoughts were, go Simba. He didn't go. I had on a long sleeve blue blouse. He grabbed me by my wrist. And that dog, with his strength, pulled me to the part where I was, at least could see where I was going, okay? By that time, it was really horrible in New Orleans. The stench of death was everywhere.
Eventually, they made it to the convention center, where they stayed for days until buses arrived to get them out of the city.
And folks, including the military and including what was left of the police, you're not going to be able to take him. You need to make a decision right now. You're not going to be able to take him. My attitude was, no way, no way. So finally, when the bus came, I stood in that line with him and his leash, just like he was a 4-year-old child. Military and police said, you're not getting on that bus with that dog. And I wish I could find a way to find that driver. Because he said to me, he said, ma'am, you've lost everything. I said, I sure have. He said, can you control your dog? I said, yes. He said, well, I'll make that decision. Get on the bus.
After contacting her daughter, she found out just how worried her new employers were for her.
And this is why I will only work for Moreno Valley Unified School System, because they really poured their hearts out to me. Directors or assistant superintendents for Moreno Valley said, all these people are calling for you, everybody is worried. And all I could say was, my mom is lost in the storm. I said, well, that's what it is.
Though Moreno Valley is no New Orleans, Buggage says she enjoys the slower pace of her new home.
For me, Moreno Valley gives me the opportunity to think. Whereas where I come from is boom, 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 boom. And it's just so much to do, and an abundance of all the things to do, that you really don't sit down to reflect what it is you have done, or how you're going to make it better, or how it improves you. But out here, I have a chance to think, to improve me. And I I like that.
For the Press Enterprise and PE.com, this is Jennifer Whitaker.